Carl here from Brrraaains A Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for short, and it's my pleasure to be standing with Grave Lines. What are we now, an hour and a half, 2 hours since? How long has it been?
15 years, 95 hours, I don't know.
Yeah, an hour.
Yeah, okay, how was it?
It's so great to be playing Bloodstock. It's a beautiful festival and beautiful people, everyone's really lovely to each other, so to like dole out some slab of like misery and doom in the afternoon is a privilege.
Also, just not playing for that long, and then having this as one of the kind of getting back into it. It's an honour. It's nice.
I've always been super passionate about Bloodstock, and I've been here 6 times as a fan.
Yeah.
And it's my lucky number 7 now here performing. And I just feel absolutely honoured and grateful to everybody. You see, Bloodstock's special compared to other festivals because of the community and the way you can go and say hello to everyone. And people will be friendly and treat you with respect if you do that for them. So I couldn't tell you it was a childhood dream, so I never thought it would happen.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely thrilled to be at Bloodstock.
Okay, I have to ask then, you get that opportunity, you get the call or an email, however it was, and says, hey, we want you to play Bloodstock and you're going to be on the selfie stage. Do you remember what that felt like?
I mean, it was about fucking 2.5 years ago.
It wasn't a while ago.
I mean, it's always nice to be asked to do stuff, you know, like, it's kind of a validation of what you've been fucking doing, you know, like, as a band you put so much fucking time and effort in the bit that people don't see, going into the rehearsal room, like driving your shit around, you know, so every time you get an offer to play anything, even a fucking tiny gig, there's no gig that's any better than it's worse than any other. That's an important thing to remember, like whether you're playing in front of 2 people or 2,000, you need to do it's the same shit, man. It's the same honour to be asked, and it's the same, like, you got to give the same fucking set. So
I think we also I think we're all fans of just being a little bit belligerent, and you know, so if you get asked to play anything, it's like, yeah, of course. Like, yeah, it's about time. We're going to play. Do you know what I mean?
Where have you been all this time? Why haven't you emailed us before?
Why didn't you ask previous? You know,
I'll tell you what, though,
we've been ready.
there's a moment when you see your name on a bill with Judas Priest that you're like, alright, that's pretty fucking cool.
That is pretty
But
damn
the
cool.
other thing is, like, so many of our friends' bands have been playing this weekend, and I just had such an immense feeling of pride to see them go from like King Goat. I put on their first ever show as a doom band, and then up there on the safety stage, absolutely slaying it. I had tears in my eyes because I was so proud of them.
And then like Video Nasties is like from other bands that we toured with a lot. There's Lowen as well. We played with. There's a lot of UK bands that we've played gigs with and been really just behind. So yeah, I don't know because of all the COVID shit, but there's a lot of UK bands this year that are contemporaries. So it's kind of nice.
There's that, and then rubbing shoulders with the ex-members of Bolt Thrower.
We were hanging out with Carl last night.
Yeah.
It was lovely.
One of my biggest inspirations and got me through some of the darkest times of my life listening to Bolt Thrower, and I got to tell him that, and he was so gracious and lovely, like everybody else at this festival. So
it's always amazing
the
when
big
you're
bands and the small bands are just,
you're in a band yourself, but you still get the fanboy.
Yeah.
Have you guys been here since Wednesday? Have you been here since Wednesday?
Me and Sam got here on Thursday.
Okay.
I've been here since this morning. And,
okay.
Yeah,
So then,
I've kind of lost my voice now. I shout when I play guitar as well. So.
there is that. So who have you checked out and been enjoying since you have been here? Who have you been enjoying?
Which bands have we been enjoying?
Yeah,
I absolutely loved Evil. I thought they
amazing.
showed exactly how to do thrash and properly leave marks on your opponents. They were fantastic and they played really, really well. Their participation was great. Creator really impressed me.
Memoriam were great.
Memoriam, absolutely. Carl's new band were fantastic. That's some of the best stuff I've heard in the world. Proper old school, you know, death metal, which is what many of us are passionate about.
But the thing that really blew me away was watching Napalm Death, and I've seen them many times, and it's the most pissed off set I've seen them do. They were so angry. It was such an amazing show.
How was Paradise Lost?
Paradise Lost were fantastic.
I'm so glad I missed
beautifully.
Draconian Times was like a staple of my youth.
That voice.
Yeah, we love Paradise.
Across that arena.
It's cathartic for many, many bands, and would you say it was the same for you, the release, and even though it was only 30 minutes?
Absolute catharsis. I call it alchemy because you're turning shit that's in here into gold, not just for yourself but for people watching. It is total catharsis.
That's definitely how like playing music, performing music in any size or shape or anything that's always what it is. It's release and
it's therapy as well.
And talking about like old things like alchemy and stuff, you know, you're talking about our mates bands playing and stuff. The idea that you're here and essentially half the people here are in fucking bands.
Yep.
And you're all playing music at each other and you're sharing shit. I mean, that's an ancient fucking thing, man. This is what the Bedouins did in the fucking desert.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's literally magic, you know, and it helps people, you know, like the depression and stuff. It's helped me, you know, and like I have the release and then I'm freed. From it,
you know. Also, there's a whole other side of it where, like for a year and a half, no one's had to think about this, and then suddenly all these conversations are coming up where it's like, all right, when do you need to shit? Where do you need to shit? What do you need to shit? Like you need the bog roll. You need you got to do a clean up like situation before. It's a whole fucking thing.
You've got to be on top of your rabbit.
You know, I mean, I've got mates that go, oh, I went to a festival for 3 days, I didn't shit once. That gives me nightmares.
Yeah, that's quite terrifying.
It's been many times for me, just in case you wanted to know.
If someone doesn't shit for a day, it gives me nightmares.
I mean, we managed to get through a set without shitting on stage.
Yeah, no one shat themselves on stage. So
that means we're winning.
That you know of yet, I mean,
no one admitted to it.
I mean, that's just the cold dribble of catharsis down my leg.
The cold, pure catharsis of shitting yourself down one leg.
Yeah, that doesn't get turned into gold, really.
No.
Stop talking about shit now.
Moving on, I just like it.
So do you guys, the last 18 months or so, do you guys think you've handled it as well as you possibly could in regards to Grave Lines, coping, and positive stories that you might be able to take from it?
I think it's been the only good thing about the last 18 months because we got to record a record that's not out yet with our friend Andy Hawkins.
I would also say that we, like a lot of our mates in bands, kind of contemporaries and the same kind of level, really took a hit and just couldn't do anything. And we were lucky between the four of us that we managed to make it work. So we were pretty active. Like we did live streams, we wrote, we did a lot of writing. We recorded an album. We recorded other tracks. Videos. Yeah, we stayed pretty active compared to a lot of our mates in similar bands.
Keep it safe, of course. We weren't like, you know, the periods of time where you couldn't be together. We were like sharing a lot, like riffs across, like you know, the email and stuff like that. So it's about, you know, as much as we fucking despise the modern world, it's about
responsibly active.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think we were lucky that all four of us were in a situation where we weren't putting anyone else at risk. We were able to still work together and get shit done. So we actually had a fairly, despite not playing live at all, we had a fairly active year last year,
which is really nice to hear.
Yeah, no, and it's good, but I'm so aware of, you know, so many bands that we know that we're friends with. If one member of the band, their home situation doesn't fit around that, then it's fucked.
I hear a lot of pissing and moaning. You know, COVID's been fucked and it's been horrible and it's been a horrendous situation. But what's the fucking point in moaning? It's not going to get you anywhere, right? You fucking deal with what you've fucking been dealt.
Yep.
So if the fucking situation goes dire, don't go online sitting there like a fucking bitch and fucking going, oh, everything's fucking terrible.
Do what
you fucking can. You know what I mean? Yeah, I fucking hate it.
He really likes talking about how the internet's shit.
Right from the start, like I knew I'd go fucking nuts if we didn't start work on the new album. And so I started shooting riffs over to everyone, and Sam went into the studio separate from me because it's like we didn't know what was going on. We're all alone, so we were shooting music to each other, and it just started developing over that time. And we finally got to go and record in a chapel in the snow in February.
I mean, also this was Sam joined the band kind of in flux of that. So right when COVID was all kind of hitting, we were doing our first live shows with him. But he'd been just learning all the previous songs. So in 2020 we were writing. It's like the first material we'd written with Sam.
Okay.
So it's kind of in a weird way we had a kind of space to just work on shit, and yeah, we've got an album coming out at the beginning of next year, but it's the first recording that's going to come out that Sam is on.
Okay.
So he's kind of got his own stamp on that, and it's, you know, we've kept the vibe of the band, but there's an evolution. That will always happen when you get someone new.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. It sounds very exciting.
So so that was a really, in a weird way, that was a nice thing that we had the time to kind of really fucking nail that down. And
that's what I mean. Looking at the positives on it, you know, we had the time to really spend with Sam that we might not have got if world was normal.
No,
I completely
that's
agree.
true.
I was able to set up a drum kit in a rehearsal studio that was, of course, locked down, and then go there privately and practice and work on songs as much as I wanted. I set up mics and they stayed up for several weeks, and me and Ollie, and we just bounced ideas around. And personally, I think it was a difficult time for people in a number of ways. The ability to work on music and do something creative was cathartic in itself.
Thank you very much for watching. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and Tumblr. Go to Patreon to help us out over there. That's patreon.com/gbhbl, as well as Big Cartel, where you can find some of our merchandise. We have a podcast running on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts, and of course, if you like this video, do us a favour, hit the subscribe button and help the channel grow. Games, horror and heavy metal, what else is life for?